This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
The search for truth never ends. Introducing June's Journey, a hidden object mobile game with a captivating story. Connect with friends, explore the roaring 20s, and enjoy thrilling activities and challenges while supporting environmental causes. After 7 years, the adventure continues with our immersive travels feature. Explore distant cultures and engage in exciting experiences. There's always something new to discover. Are you ready? Download June's Journey now on Android or iOS.
It's 7:08. It's the Power Trip Morning Show. Look at us all together again. Hey, Mussman, how's your nutsack?
How's my what now?
What did you get worked on this weekend?
Not the nutsack. That had been done long ago.
Okay, gotcha. What was it?
No, I didn't do anything.
I thought it was your knee?
My knee was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that was it.
Knee was 2 weeks ago.
Keep up, you guys.
I'm so sorry. How is it? Everything good?
Everything's good. Zacho, you'll love this because
oh my God.
I decided to go to TCO. And I'm like, hey, the connection with the Vikings, and that'll be awesome. I'll go with those guys.
Yeah.
And then I was asking the doctors, I'm like, so is it possible that when I'm doing my rehab, I can do it, cold tub buddies with J.J. McCarthy? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, I mean, not in the same tub. That'd be weird. I'm like, what if we have two cold tubs just side by side like a Cialis commercial?
I'm going to tell you,
I made it more weird.
It's not. Yeah, it's weird that you even asked.
Why?
Why? But thank you for asking.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I didn't know you were doing it for.
You're not going to get if you don't ask.
It's true. It's true.
So, but they said no, and then I talked to a bunch of the guys that we know over at the Vikings, and they did not return my calls.
I hate to bring it up again.
Otherwise, my knee feels good.
Good. I hate to bring it up again, Ben.
What?
How disgusting was that area of Winter Park? The shower, the tub, all that stuff.
Oh, it's awful.
It was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't it look dirty even when it was clean?
The thing is, it was always just wet.
Damp.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. It didn't bother me that I don't think it looked dirty, but no matter what time of day you walk through there, it was just wet, and you had to walk through there unless you cut through the training room, which they didn't really want you to do. No. So you had to walk through there to go to all your meetings and everything. Yeah, it was kind of gross like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winter Park, boy. What do they use that for? Is that like a lifetime thing now?
I think so, yeah.
Is it?
Right, yeah.
But what do they use the actual offices for? Do we know? I know they use the field house.
I think it's.
But I'm so curious. Like,
that's where they store the insulin. Yeah.
I know that, it's a tennis play. It's like I think Lifetime has sports-specific places, and I think that one's specifically for tennis.
Yeah.
I think that's the severed floor for those of you who hate your jobs.
The innies go in there.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, trying to navigate around that place was horrible if you didn't actually work there.
Right.
Oh, just go down. You can go down
with
and
all
talk
the
to the coach.
stairwells and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, where am I turning next?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird, funky spot.
It was
a
old,
dump.
though. You know,
it was old.
It was old.
I'm just surprised that even back then they didn't care about sunlight.
Man, none.
Because there was not a single window.
Right.
There's
It's
none.
like a casino.
Yeah.
You don't know what time it is. You can't see outside.
It's the best part.
Lots of losing.
Yep. Oh.
You shut your beautiful mouth.
Sauce calling it a sea palace.
Oh, probably,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right, he did. Yep.
Do we know Napoleon Bonaparte's girlfriend's name? From that story?
Latourus.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Your mic's
That
on.
thing probably fell off. That was like the crypt keeper's finger. Just all decrepit.
Dude, that's a perfect description. I can see that in my mind.
Yes. He went to go flick that bean and it just fell off.
The what keeper?
Whoa.
He had two spouses. One was named Josephine. One was Mary Louise.
Yeah, it was Josephine. That was the one.
Josephine, she's the stinky one.
Oh, my guess is the second one was.
I believe that was like, how everybody has a title.
Why is that?
Here comes the stinky one.
Why is that his thing?
So what would she be called? You know how people like Alexander the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
what
the
was
stinky one is the one. That's the nickname.
I think they named
Josephine the Stink.
No,
the
seriously,
Funk.
I'm being honest with you guys. I do know this because I read a lot. They named a city in Minnesota after her. Le Sueur.
Genius.
Josephine. Ick.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. The good old days.
Hawkwood, for sure. The good old days. What's wrong with you?
Must know what we're talking about. Were you listening, Must?
No, I have no idea. When you tangentially went into this, Ben, I was like, well, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden you're talking about the crypt keeper.
I'll give you 2 sentences. That Napoleon, when he went off to war, he would ask her not to bathe the whole time he was gone because he liked it.
Josephine the Stink you're talking about?
Exactly, yeah. He
don't bathe?
That's what he told
Until
me.
I get back.
Until I get back.
And it wasn't like he was running to Target.
Yeah, correct.
No.
Yeah, correct.
He's got an extended
Pillaging
time.
Yeah. Wow. That's disgusting.
She was just hoping to get a letter saying that he was killed in action.
Yeah, correct.
Thank God. I can shower now.
I changed my mind. Make sure you wash up. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
I see people hooking up at a country festival in a porta potty, and I think that's gross. That's even worse.
Dude, you're right. That is gross.
That's just so
Did you wave to Rosie?
Man. Okay. News.
This is KFAN
right.
News with Chris Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
Thank you, St. Paul Saints. In case you wonder what's going on with the St. Paul Saints, I've got that information for you. But first, go to saintsbaseball.com. Jefferson Morales hit a go-ahead sacrifice fly in the top of the 10th inning as the St. Paul Saints beat the Columbus Clippers 3-2 at Huntington Park. The 15 and 14 Saints host Columbus starting tomorrow. Get on down to the baseball field, CHS Field, saintsbaseball.com. Thank you, St. Paul Saints. I love my Saints. That's cool. I do wish that there was no such thing as the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
In a bad connotation, you know. But anyway. Hey, today's May 5th. It's National Silence the Shame Day. Observed at the beginning of Mental Health Awareness Month, Silence the Shame Day is an opportunity to move forward on erasing the stigma associated with mental illness. Estimated that 1 in 5 Americans are dealing with some kind of mental health struggle. Often they're doing it in silence. Today's the day to say it doesn't have to be like that. Now, I'm a big proponent of that. So if you have issues, if you're having struggles, please talk to somebody. You'd be surprised how many people were willing to help and willing to listen. So there you go. Take care of yourselves. Okay.
True dat.
5 people are safe after their plane crashed in the Amazon. The pilot, 3 women, and a child survived 36 hours in the swamps of northeastern Bolivia last week. The group escaped the plane only to realize they were surrounded by huge alligators. The pilot said he tried to scare them off with the light of his phone. They eventually saw a fishing boat, which contacted authorities who rescued the survivors by helicopter. How about that? You live through a plane crash?
There's got to be a moment where you're like, I would have rather died in the crash. I don't want to get eaten to death.
Yeah.
If you truly think that's what your fate's going to be, if you're surrounded and you're like, we're going to all get eaten by alligators, just die in the plane crash.
Is there a moment where, if you're the pilot, you're like, okay, ladies, this child, one of us has got to go.
Yeah.
And
I don't have to outrun the alligator. I just have to outrun you.
What if the guy just pops around somewhere around the tree and is like, welcome to Jumanji.
Brilliant.
What a great film.
Yeah, great film.
I love that first one.
Is the second one any good?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
The remake or whatever?
I think, the one with Jack Black and The Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
just look at my
fantastic.
peanut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, great film.
Never saw the original.
Oh,
Probably should have.
It's outstanding.
I've never seen either of them. But
It's so good.
Yeah, it's
With Robin Williams?
yeah, it was right. I mean, I was
so
probably
good.
14 when it came out, but I just didn't see it.
Man, that's
Great
a good
movie.
film. Yeah,
Great
really,
movie.
really is. Yep. Let's see. A zookeeper in Michigan is recovering after being attacked by a bobcat.
Oh.
A representative for the Wilderness Trail Zoo in Grand Rapids says the attack happened on Thursday when the zookeeper was putting food in the bobcat's enclosure. Employees suffered injuries to her hand and head. Oof. Bobcat was uninjured.
It's like, I'm okay. Is that? I was going to ask Sauce to do that.
I was going to do it too. Yeah.
I'm gonna step into Slim Jim.
Sauce, Bobcat's okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
That was just you saying thank you. Do it again?
I can't.
Do a.
I can't. I don't
hey,
think
Bobcat, did you attack that dude or what?
I mean, yeah. I can't do it.
That was worse than the first one.
You do it.
That sounded like you doing an impression of you.
Like crackhead Bobcat.
Brilliant.
Listen to this story, guys. A cold case out of Wisconsin spanning 6 decades has been solved, and the lady's still alive. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office says Audrey Backberg, who disappeared at the age of 20 in 1962, has been found alive and well. She literally walked away and vanished on purpose.
Yeah.
No criminal activity, no foul play, just wanted to get the hell out of there. On July 7th of 1962, she did.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you could.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Don't you ever think about it, Hawk? Just every once in a while.
Every damn day.
Where'd she go?
She went to Colorado. Well, first she was in Indianapolis, and then she hitchhiked to Madison with her babysitter. And then they went by Greyhound to Indianapolis, and then she disappeared from there. They found her in Colorado. No more on the story than that, though, right now. I got to know more about why she left.
So much more.
I know, right?
All right, so but think about this for a second. Real life, right? Let's say I have no idea what's going on in her life or her family's life, right? I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying, think about what actually happened. Think of the fallout, though.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you're saying, well, she needed a reset. She needed to get away. I don't know if there was abuse. Who knows? I'm not guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Think of the opposite side, though. The rest of her family for the last 60 years assumed she was dead.
Yeah.
That's
Tormented,
freaking terrible.
Yeah.
And
Terrible.
every day woke up with the she's probably dead, but we'll never know. They never got closure. And since she's in her 80s now, they died not knowing what happened to their daughter.
They probably had a
freaking terrible.
Funeral and everything, thinking, okay, well, there's no way she's coming back. And
right.
then-
So happy ending, and it sounds like it was her choice, and she might have had an awesome life, and maybe she needed to get away and start over. But man, what a bunch of torture on the other side.
Yeah.
Friends, family,
couldn't
neighbors.
you do that without torturing your own family? Now, again, we don't know what her dynamic was.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
couldn't
maybe,
you?
maybe that was the smartest thing she could have done was get the hell out of there. Who knows?
But what's the difference if she left a note saying, "I'm out. Don't try to contact me.
Right.
I'm leaving. I'm not telling you where I'm going. Have a nice life."
And you guys just nailed it. And now it's so much harder to go completely off the grid and just disappear. You'd be like, where are you going? You could text them.
We have you on
DM them.
Live 360. We
Right.
know where you are.
Exactly. But in 1962 or whatever, if you just leave a note and say, "I'm out of here," don't come looking, and like, whatever. This is my choice. I'm going to be happy. See you later. Yeah. How would you ever find them?
I mean, if you change your last name,
Yeah.
Right.
there's no way they can find you.
No.
Yeah. My buddy Waldo did that.
Okay.
Anybody find him?
Where is he?
Yeah.
I feel like he gets found quite a bit.
He's pretty
he doesn't
easy.
hide
Yeah,
well.
he's a terrible hider.
Yeah.
Is Waldo like a popular name, or do you know one? Is there like kids named Waldo? Was there like a rash of that in like the 90s?
There's a rash, yeah.
Hawk had a rash of that.
Waldo rash.
Yeah, that's what Joseph.
It was red and white.
Got that a lot.
So, let me flip that question on you. Can you name one? And don't say the guy from the book.
No.
Besides Book Waldo.
And don't say it as a middle name, because there's one very famous.
I love
person.
how he's grinding on it as if he thinks
way he
there
knows
is
that
one.
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
don't think he knows that one?
No,
No.
of course not. Is it Waldo Astoria, the hotel guy?
No. You could give him the first name, and I don't think you can get the last name.
Ralph.
I don't know.
Exactly.
You
You
okay?
don't know Ralph Waldo Emerson?
What the hell is that?
Emerson, yeah.
Emerson.
The guy from Emerson Palmer? The
Same.
Sings Lucky
Yeah, same
Man?
one. Yep.
So
Robert
you know
Palmer.
who ELP is, and you don't know who Ralph Waldo Emerson is?
No, who is that?
You're pretending now. You
No,
got
he's
to be.
definitely not
I'm not.
pretending.
I don't know who it is.
But you've heard the name.
I've heard the name, yeah. Is it something in literature?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what he actually did. I just know the name.
I have no idea.
But it's not even really technically a Waldo.
No, that's
No,
why
no,
Ben
that's why I
said,
said, yeah.
middle names don't count, he said.
Right. Let's see. Oh, this is a big story. Brazilian police say they stopped a bomb attack planned for Lady Gaga's weekend concert at Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro.
Jeez.
The authorities say the suspects are part of a group that promotes hate speech and radicalization of teenagers. Investigators say the group recruited others for a planned attack that would have included Molotov cocktails and improvised explosive devices. No one was injured, and the concert continued as planned with over 2 million people attending.
So, because of that number, they said this would have been the biggest bombing since Flop, Sweat, and Tears.
Well, at least they knew who we were.
Yeah.
They've heard of
They
us.
cited you in the news story. Crazy.
Yeah.
At least they got, under 2 million people to show up.
Yeah.
Now that's a movie I need to see. How in the world did they figure this out was going to happen and stop it? Good for those people, man. Right. And how many of these things happen and we never hear about it? How many disasters are thwarted without our knowledge? Yeah.
All the time.
I would bet a lot.
How many times did we talk about when they find a guy that was going to light up a school the next day, and we're like, well, there's a million school shootings a year. Think of how many they stop because somebody, it's the whole if you see something, say something thing, and then oof.
You just had that Mankato story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That guy was loaded up, right? And had a plan.
Yeah.
I think
fun.
Doesn't that happen at the Mall of America a lot?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Probably.
I'm not saying that they're stopping, but I think we'd be surprised at the number of threats that they stop that are potential threats at the Mall of America.
I would guess, yeah.
Corey?
Yes, sir.
You're about to be pissed. Are you ready?
Pissed.
What are they remaking a movie from my childhood?
Target is adopting a new self-checkout policy. Given the recent surge of shoplifting, the retailer announced it's now limiting self-checkout to 10 or less items.
I mean, bite me.
Yes.
Wow. Again,
No,
again,
he's correct.
When I ran into Pellicero last week at Target, again, I gained so much respect for him because he had about 400 items in his cart.
Yeah, that's because of him. They changed this.
You can check out as many as you want. There's 8 lanes. So if one person is planting their flag and saying it's going to take me 10 minutes, the other 7 move quickly. It's
Didn't
fine.
it start, though, with 10 items or less? Wasn't that how it really...
Yeah, I thought it always was 10 items.
Yeah, you can take your sweet ass time. In fact, when I was going through Target yesterday, I'm going, why do they still have 20 lanes? The lights are off on 18 of them.
Oh, you're
what
probably
a
one of
waste
those people
space.
that buys bananas and goes through there, too. It's like, we need to get somebody to come over and help.
Takes 2 seconds. Who needs help on bananas?
He ain't eating them.
He don't eat nanners.
No.
Corey, what are you doing with those bananas?
Don't worry about it. I don't want you to vlog about it. No, that's dumb. And that's not going to be followed, by the way.
I'm for this,
I promise you they're going to say 10 items or less, because it's just like they have the security cams, you're being watched. They're not watching all of us, right? It's just the threat of being watched. Same thing. They're going to say
it's not criminal if you don't.
Right. They're going to say 10 items or less. And then if I have 20, I'm still going through the self-checkout, and they're not going to stop me. They don't care. They want my money.
If you can go through it without making errors, have as many items as you want. If you're going through it, it's your first time and you don't know what you're doing, just have somebody else check you out.
Can they get cameras that actually make you look decent, though? In them?
No, I look hideous.
God, they're hideous. The lighting's horrible.
I do push-ups before I walk in front of that camera.
I look away from my own self.
Yeah, you do that everywhere you go, though.
Oh, that's good.
Now, if you want to buy some shady stuff, you go through the self-checkout, right? You don't put it on the normal thing anymore.
What are you buying?
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
What are you buying that's shady?
See, don't worry about it.
What's shady?
Don't worry about it. See, that's why I go through self-checkout. I don't want you to know what I'm buying.
What cream and ointment are you getting?
Correct.
None of your business.
I hope you get thwarted.
How bad are your privates?
Yeah.
None of your business.
Are you buying those magnums just in case?
None of your business.
Oh, if I was buying those, I'd just put those front and center.
Yeah, that's when you go. That's when you go find the clerk. Yeah, I need some help over here.
If you open up lane 15, I want to make one purchase.
Yeah, you go find the cutest clerk, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna put this right here.
Interesting.
Hey, what's your name, Jim?
And this packet of Tic Tacs.
No, we're taking a stand. We're going through self-checkout with as many freaking items as I want.
That's who you are.
Yep.
Now.
They're not going to limit me to 10.
Just a
they want my money or not.
Yeah.
Rabble-rouser.
More of the Power Trip 22 after this on the Fan.
Want to keep your personal number private but still stay connected? With Line 2, you can get a second phone line right on your device with a super simple app and no need for another phone. Whether it's for online shopping, dating, or shielding your main number from spam, Line 2 is an easy way to manage it all. Ready for peace of mind without breaking the bank? Call, text, block, and more for only $9.99. Get started with line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in any app store today. Line 2, your second line simplified.
We've got your shot to win tickets to Summer of Loud 2025. Friday, July 11th at Somerset Amphitheater. See performances from Beartooth, I Prevail, Parkway Drive, and more. Head to our contest page to see how you could win today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Hey, somebody fact check this. I believe it because it was just on ESPN. Do you guys just see that ESPN stat about Warriors Wolves?
No, I didn't see that.
I did, yeah.
So they just, what'd you see? Which one?
That it's the first time they've been an underdog?
Yeah, so under Steve Kerr, according to ESPN, this is the 28th series that the Golden State Warriors have been in. 28th. And this is the first time they've been dogs.
Wow, that's
really?
impressive.
Yeah, it seems like at some point, somewhere in that run, they would have been underdogs
maybe
against
even like
somebody?
in the second round or something like that.
But according to ESPN, this is the first time they've ever been a series underdog in the Steve Kerr era.
Didn't I also hear another one that was about that they've never actually lost in 6?
Steph hasn't. No. Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter. Yeah. Didn't fact check that one yet either, but I did read that on Twitter. That he's never lost in under 6.
Time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip. Presented by All Around, your TimberTech deck building contractor.
The Minnesota Timberwolves will battle the Warriors in the second round of the playoffs after the Warriors beat the Rockets 103-89 in Game 7. Game 1 of this series, though, will be at Target Center tomorrow at 8:30. Your Wolves are 6-point favorites and are minus 175 to win the series. Game 2 is Thursday, Game 3 is Saturday, and Game 4 would be a week from today.
Yes, sir. Cannot wait for it. Wolves have lost. I mean, we know at this point that the regular season is not a huge indicator for how the playoffs are going to go because the Wolves lost all their games against the Suns a year ago and then swept them in the first round. But the Wolves have lost their last 3 against the Golden State Warriors, and Steph Curry scored 30 in each of those games or over. So that's something obviously to keep an eye out for. I kind of think it's almost like the reverse of the Lakers, where it's like with the Lakers you had to go, well, we'll let LeBron and Luka get theirs and not let anybody else get theirs. But I think you got to try. I mean, it's impossible. He's the greatest scorer of all time, but you just have to try to neutralize Steph in any way possible because he is the ignition of that team. Once he gets going, then the floodgates open and everybody else, the basket just gets that much bigger for everybody else. But I do think the Wolves have the similar advantages in size and that we have the wing defenders to kind of help neutralize guys like Steph, guys like Jimmy Butler. And you leave it to the Draymonds of the world and then the Warriors supporting cast, which they do have quite a bit of different guys that they can rely on, that they can go to. Nobody's going to be a game breaker in the sense that they're going to drop 40 points on your head, but they could have a nice little sprinkle of, 5, 6, 7 guys that get into double digits. So this is a different beast than the Lakers, and the Wolves are going to need to be a little bit more on point because as well as the Wolves played in that Lakers series, obviously the 3-pointers were not dropping, and we had some lack of production from some of our bench guys, but the Lakers only had, as Corey has been saying, 3.5 good players. So it kind of helps make up for that. That's not going to be the case with the Warriors. You got to bring your A+ game. Guys like Nikhil, Dante, even Naz Reid, outside of a couple of those games, those guys have to bring their A+ game because we know Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, the usual suspects we need them to show up. But we're going to need guys like Nikhil and Dante to have better series because this Warriors team is tough, and obviously they've been there and they've done that.
So speaking of the Lakers, because I know you love when people talk about the Lakers, especially after they've been eliminated. How about all the Lakers coming out now going, I was hurt.
Oh, yeah.
They're all LeBron, Austin Reeves. Yeah, they're all like, we would have missed 9 months, but we toughed it out. It's like, okay. Yeah, how about you just got your ass kicked?
Well, and if you notice,
you didn't lose because you were injured.
Luka wasn't hurt when he had the ball. He wasn't hurt on offense. He was only hurt when he had to play defense. Yeah, they would have beat him anyway, even at full strength. Yeah. Maxo, the Pacers, 121 over the Cavs, 112 in a upset victory in Game 1 of that semifinal.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think everybody's just been assuming that the Cavaliers and the Knicks are on a collision course in the Eastern Conference Finals, and this is just one game. But the Indiana Pacers, man, they've been playing red hot. They've saved their best for the playoffs. They absolutely pretty much smoked Milwaukee in all those games. And Tyrese Halliburton, man, he's had an up and down season, but he's really found himself as a facilitator. And 22 points and 13 assists is just absolutely absurd. He gets that team going. He doesn't have to take over the game just scoring wise. He just gets his teammates involved in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different guys in double digits. And that's kind of what Cleveland's bread and butter has been, is depth. And the Pacers kind of out-deeped the Cavaliers yesterday, stole one from them and took home court advantage. So that series is a little bit more interesting than I think people thought it was going to be going into it.
The Cleveland Cavaliers were 64-18 in the regular season. That's a really good record.
Yeah, really.
They were 34-7 at home. 2 of those losses were to Indiana. And at Cleveland this year, the Pacers are now 3-0 if you count yesterday's game. They've played each other 5 times, and the Pacers are 4-1. So this seems to be, even though it would be an upset based on what Cleveland's doing, this might be one of those like Denver, Minnesota things where like we just have their number.
Yeah.
So the Pacers might just be like, look, I know Cleveland's a bull in a china shop here, but like we match up well against them, and we've had their number all year long. So 4-1 against one of the best teams in the league. That's pretty tough.
How about both games tonight? Celtics and the Knicks, and then the Denver and Thunder. Both of the home teams are 9.5-point favorites.
Wow, no respect for New York.
No.
I get it with Denver, but no respect for New York. Jeez.
Your Twinkies have won 2 straight. They beat the Red Sox 5-4. They won the series 2-1. They're off today. They battle Baltimore tomorrow. The NFL schedule will be released 1 week from Wednesday.
Woo! And at the NFL draft, it was the announcement of the announcement.
Yep.
They announced it would be announced.
Mm-hmm. It's a big deal.
Barb would be upset, right?
Yeah.
Barb would. Yeah.
She does not care for the announcement of the announcement.
She passed away, though.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I missed the party. Darn it.
There was a party?
Well, I don't know. Some kind of gathering mood, I guess. Probably over at Rojo.
Oh, lucky. Yeah. Which I think is Chi-Chi's now.
What?
Yeah. It's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're bringing Chi-Chi's back.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Chi-Chi's.
Duh.
I don't know why I didn't care for the way you said that. It sounded scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, God, I love Chi-Chi's.
Vikings news is next with former Vikings linebacker Ben Leber. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Van.
The Fan. You know that feeling when you're about to score 30% off, but they want your number? Ugh. Give them your Line 2 number instead. It's a second line on your phone, perfect for nabbing promo codes without inviting spam to your party. Sign up for every discount under the sun, then block the junk texts that follow. You get all the perks, but none of the spammy baggage. More codes, less chaos. Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store and get your shopping sidekick today. Because the only thing blowing up your phone should be good deals.
Man.
It's 7:44. It is time for Vikings news on the Power Trip Morning Show, your home of Minnesota Vikings football.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Radco. That's right.
Truck Accessories Pro.
Thank you, Radco, and thank you, Aaron Jones, for talking to the press, giving us something to talk about today. Ben, he knew he'd be back in purple.
When I first came in, I said this place felt like home. They welcomed me in with open arms. Throughout the year, just seeing how I was used in the system, the culture that's been established here, the support system, everything. So it was really a no-brainer. I felt like I fit in the offense pretty well as well. So for me, it's a no-brainer. This is where I wanted to end up, and I'm glad we were able to get it done.
He's excited to have Jordan Mason on the squad.
I've always played with another back or 2 backs, so I feel like him coming in is just going to help me. It's going to help him, and both of our games are going to Bloster. But it also allows me to go line up out wide maybe, or do number of different things and continue to stay versatile. So I'm happy to have him here. I've been watching him for a while, and when it happened, I'm like, no way, we got this guy.
You guys like going to Outback Steakhouse and getting the Onion Bloster?
He just moved the L.
It's okay.
He meat sauced it. What? He meat sauced it.
He did?
Yeah, we get what he was trying to say.
He's blossoming.
He's blossoming.
That is one great dude. I've done a couple of different events in Vikings country and stuff, and what he says about being here in Minnesota, he absolutely means. He's not just throwing that out there for the fans or whatever. That guy loves being here.
Yeah. He's about as genuine as you can get.
And he loves JJ Mack.
He looks great. Moving around. He looks good in the weight room. Looks good. Confident. I'm very confident in him. He has all the support around him, and we're here to lift him up, and he's going to be ready to go.
What if he said, like, he looks great on the field and in the sauna?
Yeah.
Right.
Looks great, telling himself off.
Yeah.
Looks great standing in front of his locker.
Can't play Venmo and money.
Can't play quarterback worth a damn, but you should see this guy in the shower.
You gotta see him drop a pen. Bend over and pick it up.
But do you guys ever do this? Yesterday, the Vikings on Instagram, I don't know if they did it on Twitter or not. Yesterday on Instagram, the Vikings were like, "Happy birthday, Reddy Stewart," and I'm like, "Who in the Sam hell is Reddy Stewart?" I thought I was
Stewart.
Exactly. I thought I was getting trolled.
I said the same thing.
He's some dude that they signed. So it's like, because if you're on the roster and it's your birthday, they send you a social media birthday post.
Or Reddy's driving.
I thought I was getting tricked.
No.
Happy birthday, Reddy Stewart. Who?
Yeah, where do they draw the line on that?
I don't know.
Is it just like the guys on the active 53 or the guys on practice squad? Because right now at this point in time, you have 90 guys on roster. Are you wishing happy birthday to number 83?
Yeah, I don't know. Reddy Stewart he wears number 20. That's all I know about him, apparently.
Full sentence if there's a question mark.
Reddy Stewart. I'm trying to find him on Our Lads in the depth chart here.
Yeah, right.
Is he a coach?
I don't know.
Boy, that sucks if you're Reddy driving to work right now.
Oh, there he is.
And his name is Reddy?
Yeah.
Reddy.
Yeah, he's ready to drive off the road right now.
Oh.
He is 24 years old.
I put all my work and my whole life into this career, and those sons of bitches.
Now I'm getting savage.
Undrafted out of Troy, he played, looks like he was a practice squad guy for the Bears last year.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Reddy!
Way to go, Reddy. We apologize. I hope we get to know you.
How's it spelled?
Reddy. It's short for Redrick.
Great name.
Yeah.
Redrick?
Redrick.
Holy moly.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
Is he an oil baron?
Yeah.
I love that name.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Redrick. Wow.
Redrick.
Just old Red, though.
Is Redrick short for Frederick?
No, it looks like just Redrick.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Because you don't give an F.
Yeah.
No, we don't. I love it.
Did you guys hear what Todd McShay said about our draft pick?
Nope.
Our
The 5th round pick?
the 5th round pick.
Yeah.
No.
The guy out of Georgia,
Oh, yeah.
Tyrion Ingram Dawkins.
Yeah.
It's like he's like one of his favorite picks of all the drafts or all the draft picks.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Diamond in the rough?
He said that he is a complete diamond in the
He
rough.
said he can't believe he was there in the 5th round.
Is he the DT?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he's
the sod?
Is he the one though that got physically compared to Daniil Hunter too? That like not a huge amount of production in college, but they just think he's like a physical freak
I don't
and
know
they'll
that.
figure
Maybe.
it out. I thought we had one guy
I
that
know
we drafted that was like
physically they say he tested off the charts. His vertical leap was like 38 or something like that. Crazy.
6'5", 280.
Holy moly.
That's a what? Say that again.
6'5", 280.
That's a huge bitch.
21 years old.
Freak.
Freak.
Yeah, we got to find a nickname for him because his name's kind of hard to say.
Freak.
It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, don't call him
Let's
that.
call him freak.
if he's a
See if he
freak,
likes
let's
it.
call him Napoleon Bonaparte.
No.
Josephine?
Or we could call him Josephine the Stink.
I think you could call him.
You can call him that.
Freak.
Because even his initials don't really say anything.
Nope.
TID. Tid?
Is it Tyrion like Game of Thrones? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tyrion. Is it Tyrion? I don't know.
Or was it Tyrion?
I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Ben, you've done games before where you're like, there's some names on other teams that you're like, oh, I hope they don't have a big game because I don't want to say
Oh my
this
God.
name over
When
and
I-
over
when I
again.
was
even
Back in the day when I was doing college football stuff, I mean, if you didn't practice the names phonetically and write it the way that your brain processes it,
right?
You would look like that was like one of the number one things. Like, don't botch names.
Yeah.
Like, it's just disrespectful.
Well, we have almost always now in NFL stadiums the visiting producer. I'm sorry, the home producer will come into our booth and let us know who has a weird name.
Yep.
Tyrion.
Tyrion? That's how you say it. Tyrion.
Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan. Tyrion.
But you guys haven't seen the hockey names that we've had to deal with.
Oh, see, I couldn't. That's another reason why they said if you can handle calling hockey games, then you can do any sport because there's not a sport that has tougher names that you have to just rally off the tip of your tongue.
Tell me about it. My first job, I was doing a PA job for the Mavericks and down in Mankato.
Oh,
very
not
first
Dallas?
game that I do is Parents' Night.
Ooh.
And so now it's not only just a player and trying to identify their name and how to actually say it. Then it's like, well, and there's his grandparents. I'm like, oh my Lord, I botched a lot in that one.
That's
Cove.
tough.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Cove is tough, yeah.
I had a PA job at the Humane Society and at a Montessori school. I would just tickle puppies and babies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why you went to jail for 10 years.
Yeah, you did a dime upstate.
Are you a puppy or a baby?
Good question. Answer
Probably
the question.
a baby.
If we see him from behind, he looks more like a puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know the difference?
Sure.
Does he?
Sure.
Does he know the difference?
4 legs.
I don't think his fingers know the difference.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Holy.
That got weird.
Wow.
What do you mean by that?
They tickle the same.
Oh.
They're indiscriminate.
okay.
They just
Is the profit different, though?
PROFIT or
Yes.
PROPHET?
Well, I guess, I don't know. Do we ever find out if he tickles for that profit
Do
or
we
the
still
other
have
profit?
that banger of a song?
Which one?
PA tickles puppies for profit.
Sure we do. I should probably play it for you.
Yeah.
It's just a little
Not
much,
going
though, Corey, when you went to fingers.
Yeah, that's where it changes.
How do you tickle?
Tickling is one thing.
What do you tickle
That
with?
almost sounds
His
delightful.
tongue.
But yeah,
A feather.
keep the fingers
Everybody
out of it.
carries your
What's
tickle feather in your back pocket.
I would prefer if PA did tickle me with a feather versus his man fingers.
I knew
No
it.
thanks.
I freaking knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, man.
I wish I had a tickle feather.
Why? How much would it have been used this weekend in the hotel room by yourself?
Yeah, but you should just get one of those fancy pens, those like fountain pens that have the feather on them, and then it just got dual purpose. You can just write things down and tickle people.
There's no need to ever tickle me, ever. I don't like it. I don't want it.
Same.
Leave it alone.
Has he ever tickled you?
Who?
PA?
Sure he has.
Nobody's safe.
The thing is, it's not really a tickle; it's more just like a grab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The list of people who have not been tickled is much shorter. It's easier to ask that question.
But then doesn't he get to the point with you where he just stops and asks you if he can look at it? Like
After
where
I
he's gonna
turn 30,
tickle?
yeah. He just basically says, "Can I at least just look at it?"
Hey,
No.
Hey, Ben, this makes me laugh. Listen to this. A former sports columnist has advice for Bill Belichick. After the coach's CBS interview, NFL writer Peter King is urging Belichick to get a hold of himself while describing the controversial interview as embarrassing. The CBS interview made headlines after Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, interrupted the conversation to stop a question about their relationship. King criticized how Belichick allowed Hudson to take control of the interview in a podcast. King said, Bill's got to get hold of himself, and it's totally embarrassing for a guy who's as great at his job as he is.
Yeah, I agree.
My guess is Bill Belichick read that article right after he read the Kama Sutra with his girlfriend, right? I don't think he cares. Belichick does not seem to care about anything.
He absolutely is reading 50 Shades of Grey to her in the bathtub.
100%.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I guess, although he's kind of ruining his legacy.
How?
Hello.
Hi. God dang it. We all do eventually.
You know, this is, I think about.
If he was dating somebody that was like similar in age,
no,
he would be holding on to his career legacy.
I actually don't think it's about the age at all. I think it's about the fact that you have this very sort of masculine head coach that is old school in so many ways, where, he has the look, the gruff, the scowl, all this stuff. I mean, he and Tom Brady didn't even get along because of just egos and stuff like that. And then he's wearing a leash, a little puppy dog leash, and this young mid-20s girl is leading this dude around, and he is just lapping it all up. That's
spicy.
That's what I think is being tarnished, is like your whole image of just like this Super Bowl winning coach is being ruined because you are following this girl around like a little sick puppy dog.
But the age is a massive factor.
It's a massive
How
thing.
old are you?
I'm 46.
Their gap in age is around 48 years old. So that would be the equivalent of you dating somebody who is born 2 years from now. There's a lot of
successful people that have really young girlfriends. Nobody's looking at Leonardo DiCaprio saying like, "Oh,
well, that's a constant story every week, it seems."
Yeah, but you're not looking at him any differently. Like, you're not looking at his legacy any differently. You're just like, "Oh, it's just part of his thing." Like, he likes young supermodels. Oh, it's his jam. Yeah, but he's not doing anything illegal.
Don't you think part of it though is that Leo, in most of our minds, still looks and feels like he's 33, even though he's probably 50. He's got to be close to 50, right?
Oh, for sure.
Late 40s.
Yeah,
pushing 50.
Yeah.
He's 74. No, he's 50.
50 exactly.
Right on it.
I don't know. But when you talk about the story from Peter King, I just get the visual of the movie Airplane where the girl has to get it together and there's a lineup of people that's
slapping.
Great scene.
Yeah,
one person's got like a billy club and a baseball bat and everybody's like smacking her and shaking her.
Get it together. His legacy is actually a little bit more on the cusp because he's actually going to be a college football coach. Because nobody wanted to touch that in the NFL.
The thing is,
she wants to touch it in the NFL. Nobody else.
Yeah. I guess the whole thing with you add it all up where the NFL didn't want him. He goes to college. Now he's got this young girl it's just sort of pathetic. I think that to me it's, dude, you were this guy. Like you should have just went out on top. Like just right off in the sunset. You don't need to coach again. I know that you have this itch to probably coach because it's in your DNA.
Fight the power.
Sure. Yeah. Do that.
Brilliant.
I don't know.
It's just a midlife crisis. Let it happen.
I think what's happening to his image is pathetic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless he's living a 146.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing, I don't care who dates who or anything. Doesn't matter. I understand the power, that can be held over you. But
you almost said it.
Yeah. But I do think it's interesting when somebody seems to be impervious to any kind of direction from any person. They're so self-assured and so strong. And then you see them be guided as if they're a child.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, man or woman, no matter what age it is. That's an interesting thing to somebody who's so strong-willed to find somebody, and for some reason that person has that kind of control over them. I find it interesting.
I know. Now my imagination goes so far. Like I feel like if she wanted him to dress up and role play as a baby, I think that he would do it.
He would have to.
Or like he would put a diaper on and he'd have a binky in his mouth, and she would be like, taking care of him like a little baby. That's my visual of him.
Maybe, though, with him, his whole life, as you were saying, Hawk, his whole life, he's in control. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Right.
And he's a Hall of Fame coach.
But, at some point, you got to get away from that.
Yeah. Well,
you can't do that same persona all the time. You can't be like, hey, this guy's always the funniest guy at a party. At some point, you don't want to be the funniest.
I don't know. Do you think Chuck Noll would do that? Do you think Tom Landry would do that? Like, you think about some of the greatest coaches of all time in the NFL and just like the image that you have of them. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it gets diminished and minimized into this like little feeble guy that's chasing around this tail. Dude, you can get tail anywhere.
You don't think it'd be cool to see Andy Reid like at a wet t-shirt contest in Daytona Beach, picking up the winner and taking her home to Kansas City?
Fight the power.
Yeah, fight the power.
Eating nuggies.
Oh.
Quiet.
Wow.
All right, Kessler. Don't boss me around.
Hawk's getting too turned on.
Chris likes it.
Yeah, he likes being bossed around.
It's interesting.
Well, the latest is that she forced her way into that Duncan commercial for the Super Bowl.
They said they've never seen anybody basically just come on set saying, I'm going to be in this commercial.
See, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, you wonder, like, I don't know how his kids actually are coaching with him, right?
Yeah,
Steve.
I wonder what it's, imagine if that's your dad, right? I would guess you'd be a little worried. Why are you letting her do this to you, right?
You would think.
It must be pretty damn amazing is what I'm just
That's what I'm saying, brother.
It's so worth it.
There must be a flashlight. You know what I mean? Like, just like
the angels sing. Yeah.
I'm sure Steve's like, you got friends? Bring your friends around.
Fan 5 in a second. Headlines later. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan. You know that feeling when you're about to score 30% off, but they want your number? Ugh. Give them your Line 2 number instead. It's a second line on your phone, perfect for nabbing promo codes without inviting spam to your party. Sign up for every discount under the sun, then block the junk texts that follow. You get all the perks, but none of the spammy baggage. More codes, less chaos. Visit line2.com/audio or download Line 2 in the App Store and get your shopping sidekick today. Because the only thing blowing up your phone should be good deals.